Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Dooley Does Food. I'm your host, Dooley Noted. Welcome back, underscores. It's time. So I'm sure many of you have seen the 18 versus 30 challenge on Twitter, and I was sitting back like reminiscing. I was like, oof, look, the growth. But that got me thinking about being young and childhood and all that fun stuff. And one of my favorite activities as a young person was to go for the fair. And seeing as I've been sitting up in this house for the last 2 years, I had to recreate that magic. So today, we are going to recreate some fair food. We are doing Korean style corn dogs. They're cheesy, they're savory, some of them are a little bit spicy, but of course I had to put my own little twist on it. So, buckle up, here we go. See y'all on the other side. Alright, so first things first, we gotta get our batter together. Here on the left in my bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I've also set aside 3 tablespoons of sugar total. I did 1 1/2 of brown and 1 1/2 of white. I have 1 tablespoon of oil. Remember, for these kinds of projects, we want to use a neutral tasting oil. You can do canola, you can do vegetable. Don't use anything like sesame. I have 2 eggs, 3 1/4 cup of milk, a 1/2 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Remember, when you're doing things like this, you always add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. So slowly add them in, and then we're gonna take our wire whisk and whip them together until all of your ingredients are incorporated equally. We want it to be nice. It's gonna be thick, but we want an even, silky consistency. Take your batter, cover it in plastic wrap, and sit it at room temperature for approximately 20 minutes. Here we're just waiting for science to happen. We want our batter to create some gluten, so that way we can get that nice breading. So yeah, cover it, set it aside, and we'll come back to this later. Let's move on and take care of our other prep work. Now I want to incorporate cheese. We all love a little cheesy goodness. So let's get that first. I have 8 ounces of mild cheddar. Feel free to use sharp if you would like. And I have 12 ounces of mozzarella. Both of these are going on a corn dog, so it's going to be on a stick. So I figured it was easier to work with mozzarella via string cheese than to actually cut it. So, little hack. Go ahead and cut your cheddar into small, manageable blocks. Work slowly but surely, and we're gonna do the same thing with our string cheese mozzarella. Go ahead and work diligently and break it down into smaller, bite-sized pieces. After your cheese, go ahead and break down your hot dogs and sausages. For projects like this, I swear by Hebrew National, but you can also use Nathan's. I think they're pretty good. It also just so happens that I had some spicy Italian sausage from some breakfast that I made this week, so I decided to break those down and include them in this recipe. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, you can use Impossible, you can use tofu. The fun thing about Korean style corn dogs is that you can use whatever the heck you want, so be creative. Alright, so I don't know where y'all come from, but growing up in the Detroit area, our fairs were kind of lit. all of the food was delicious. It's supposed to be simple and it's a little bit ghetto fabulous. So we're gonna go ahead and continue that trend. And let's just go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, no hood classic is complete without some flaming hot Cheetos, some spicy Doritos, and a little bit of pickle, girl.
Yeah, I said it deep down in my gut.
They are everything. You just rock with me. I know it sounds weird, but just rock with me, y'all. Like we're gonna use the Cheetos and the Doritos. We're gonna incorporate those in our coating, and the pickle will be a part of the process. Just rock with me, y'all. I promise it's gonna be delicious. Now that we have all of our ingredients, we can start putting together our corn dogs. I suggest using chopsticks. I think they work really well for the assembly. My grocery store didn't have it, so I used 2 skewers that you would use for like shish kebabs. Once again, work slowly but efficiently. I did hot dog, cheese, hot dog, pickle, and so forth. Just go ahead and just work, get that assembly done, and then set them aside on a tray just like this. But also, you can use whatever combination works best for you and yours. You'll also see that I alternated with some of my combinations. That way, folks had a couple different choices that they could make. Some of them had pickles, some of them didn't. Some of them had hot Cheetos, some of them had Doritos, some of them had both. You'll see that later in the video, but I just want to point that out. Please feel free to be creative. You know what's best for your peoples, and just do that. Alright, before we drop these in the grease, we gotta get our fry station set up. You'll need to pour your batter into a container that's either wide enough or tall enough to get your corn dog sticks inside. You'll need to be able to rotate them so that you can coat them. You also need a dish for your panko breadcrumbs. In total, I used approximately 12 ounces total, and I separated them into 3. That way I could use some with my Cheetos and some with my Doritos, and also create some that were just panko. Take your sticks, dunk them in the batter, rotate, need a little bit of force, but you want to make sure that the entire unit is covered in batter. That way our panko sticks to it. So, work slowly, make sure they're coated, and then you're going to take it, dunk it into the panko, and then use your hands to make sure that it is covered by the breadcrumbs. And then you may also need to take your hand and use your hands to impact or compact the breadcrumbs on your stick. Make sure that they stick, and then have a pan set aside so that you can set aside those that you have already assembled. I have my grease at approximately 350 degrees. Anything more than that, your breadcrumbs are gonna brown too quickly. Go ahead and drop your stick in there. Now, if you're like me and you misconstrued the size of your Dutch oven or your frying mechanism, you can use a metal spoon and spoon over the hot grease carefully over your corn dog like this to ensure that it cooks simultaneously. You'll see here that I also gracefully drop the other end into the grease. That way I can promote even cooking. All in all, it took maybe 3 or 4 minutes to ensure that the corn dog was cooked and browned. But as we do with all things that we fry, we finish it in the oven. So I also set my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and as my corn dogs finished, I popped them all in the oven for an additional 3 or 4 minutes just to make sure that they were cooked evenly. Look at that fried beautifulness. Nice golden brown. We got a diversity of options. Like, I did that. Get into it. But this wouldn't be a Dooley Does Food production without a little bit of sauce. So I went ahead and drizzled these babies with a little bit of gochujang, the traditional Korean style sweet, kind of tangy sauce that you use to accentuate food. So I drew some on here. If you don't have that, I think another really great option would be mustard. I encourage you to not use yellow mustard. I don't think she's that girl for this particular project. But please feel free to use a spicy mustard, a Dijon mustard, a honey mustard, a brown mustard. It could be Grey Poupon, but please don't get that cheap little Frank's yellow. That's not what we need here. Remember, we do flavor here. All right, I'm really excited about this. Like, look at this cheese. The cheese is already like, you gonna taste me. That's pretty good. It's good cheddar. Crispy. It's crispy. That's really good. I really love hot Cheetos. They can put whatever in hot Cheetos and I might eat it. I want y'all to see inside. Look. See if I can get you in there. Cheese, nice and molty. Molty. I guess that's molten and cheesy. Look at that. Word. This is really good. The batter is sweet. Oh, excuse me. The batter is sweet. The cheese kind of pulls it together. Gives a little body. I used the Hebrew National, so you know that's good. I love it. I couldn't eat this every day. I don't want y'all to have to come get me and take me to the hospital. But this is really good. Work. Get into it. See y'all later. Welcome back. What did you think? Sound off in the comments below. That was really, really fun to make. I can't believe I did that. Your boy is definitely going running after this. Like, that was a lot of calories. Ooh, girl. But thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your boy's almost there. I'm almost monetized. We creeping there. We creeping almost there. Keep on sharing, keep on engaging. I really, really appreciate it. We've grown a lot over the last year, and there's more to come. For example, I'm thinking about doing some rant and reviews about my favorite culinary food competitions. Thinking about doing a little Master Chef, a little Top Chef. Where would you guys want to start? What shows and what seasons would you all be interested in discussing? Also, sound off in the comments about that. What are y'all interested in talking about? I'm kind of curious. Oh, y'all heard that? I guess dishwashers entered the chat. All right, it's time for me to go. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.